But we got a couple of news stories I can actually talk about. One of them is actually kind of going to be a redo from a story I talked about a couple weeks ago because it wasn't on news. But anyway, first thing we're going to talk about, a major mod for Mount & Blade Bannerlord is coming out next month in June. I think it's, let's see if I can pronounce this right. Hold on, let me go back to it. Where is it? Oh my god, I can't find it. Found it, okay. Shokuho is a mod that is coming out for Mount & Blade Bannerlord. If you guys remember Gakukujo, another popular mod for Warband, set during, set in feudal Japan and all that other fun stuff. This is basically that. It's just not called Gakukujo, it's called Shokuho. I don't know what exactly that means. But it looks really good. I can't wait to play it when it comes out. It looks like there's gonna be firearms too, and ship battles, which will be interesting. I don't know if it's gonna be like, you will, control the ships yourself. I think it's just gonna be like a flat battle map, but it'll be the map itself is 2 ships. I think that's what it is. But it looks incredible. This definitely seems like it's gonna be the year of a lot of Bannerlord mods, like highly anticipated mods, because I know there is the Lord of the Rings mod that is still currently in development, but is also making really great progress. And then obviously, you have the Old Realms mod, which is Warhammer Fantasy, which is also incredible. You should go check it out if you haven't already. And, Shokuho will be another great mod for the Bannerlord community to play around with. Now, the next news story I'm going to talk about, this... Okay, so, a few weeks ago, and I might as well just talk about it here just so that it's put... Because it wasn't on that week's News from the Bunker episode. There wasn't actually an episode for that week that I talked about it, because it was like the only news story I talked about. So I'll bring it back from the top. So firstly, Sony has halted any and all advertising and marketing for Marathon, which is Bungie's next game that they're getting ready to release and all that. And Marathon, it was Bungie's, it was their premier title back in the day. It was the series of games that put them on the map. And they started working on this new Marathon game. It's an extraction shooter, which I'm not particularly fond of because I don't really like extraction shooters too much. But I was willing to give this a shot. But now Bungie has found themselves in hot water once again because a few weeks ago it was found out that a lot of the textures that were being used in Marathon were actually stolen artwork from a former Bungie dev by the name of Antimatter. And Antimatter took to Blue Sky on Twitter to basically call Bungie out on this, pointing out all the similarities between the textures that were currently in Marathon, and then the texture maps that Antimatter made. Even going as far like they showed off that even Bungie used their fucking logo. Like their watermark logo is used in Marathon. And it's like, it's not even subtle, guys. You can look at all the comparisons yourself. There is not subtle whatsoever. The thievery that is on display here. This isn't the first time Bungie was caught doing this. because they're about a year or so ago, they released an Ace of Spades Nerf gun, and it was found out that the artwork that was being used for the Nerf gun was stolen by a fan artist who did fan art of the Ace of Spades, which is I think it's Cade's revolver, I think is what it is. And now, in that news story in particular, Bungie did end up compensating the artist for stealing their art. So at least the artist got paid. In this particular news story, though, with Anti-Real, I don't know if Bungie has actually paid them yet. And I think right now they're looking to, obviously the game is going to be delayed for sure, because if they don't want to pay Anti-Real for the artwork, then their next best option would be to delay the game and then redo all the textures from scratch instead of, you know, what they did for, you know, for the current build of Marathon. And here's the big thing for me is that you're telling me no one caught on to this during development. You're telling me that the current art director at Bungie didn't notice this. Granted, I don't know how long it was that Anti-Real was out of Bungie. Like from what I understand, I'm led to believe that it's been a hot minute since Anti-Real worked with Bungie. But still, I feel like if you're an artist or a developer at any company personally, that the moment you're let go, all of the assets that are yours personally should go with you. That shouldn't still be with the company. So whenever Anti-Real left Bungie, all of their work should have gone with them. It should not have been left in like files on like office computers. So that's a really not a good look for Bungie, because it doesn't help the fact that people were already skeptical on Marathon to begin with. Like, reception for Marathon wasn't looking too hot. Because my whole thing was that, like, okay, so we're living in a day and age where there are popular remakes being made of a bunch of classic FPS titles. So like you got Wolfenstein, you got your Doom remakes and all that, and then you know, they're not remakes, but they're remasters of Quake. You got the remasters of Quake 1 and Quake 2 out over the past few years. Why not just do a direct remake? Like a whole ass remake of the Marathon series. Like that would have been the best bet. Instead, you just choose to use the name only. Yeah, I know. I know that would mean putting in time and effort. Instead, it's a lot easier to chase in my opinion, possibly a dying trend. Because I'm sorry, but I hate extraction shooters with a dying passion. Some of them I'd be willing to try just out of pure curiosity. Like, funnily enough, there was an extraction shooter that I actually had some fun with, like, last year or the year before, called Marauders. Marauders was this sci-fi, it's basically like World War I, but if it was sci-fi and also in space. And that one, like, Marauders is pretty cool. I liked that. And there's another extraction shooter coming out right now, that's currently in development, called Arc Raiders, that a lot of people are apparently played in like a beta test recently. And people are preferring Arc Raiders over Marathon. And it's like, yeah, I just don't like the idea of, like, you're dropped into this area, there's always the potential of you getting this badass loot, And so you extract with it, then you come back with that same loot, and then you fucking lose it to some dude who's hiding in one spot. Like that, I just don't like that idea. I feel like I would get tilted really easily playing an extraction shooter. The only one I can have a somewhat exception on is Hunt Showdown. That's like the only one where I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this because you don't really lose your items, you just lose your hunter. So yeah. Happened to Capcom with Resident Evil. I don't know the story with the Capcom thing. But yeah, better to be incompetent than malicious. I mean, it still doesn't make it good. Like, if you're incompetent and you didn't know that this texture pack was used by a former, which obviously, you know, that's always a possibility that you just didn't know that the textures you ripped from this file were actually from a former developer. Like, that is a possibility. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like there should have been, I just find it hard to believe that there wasn't one person who may have been there around the same time as Anti-Real, knows Anti-Real's work, and didn't go, hey, wait a minute, this looks like their work. Why are we using this and they're not even here? Like that, there's a whole area in that story where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I can believe the incompetence part purely because of that. Want to play an extraction shooter? Play. I wouldn't. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't necessarily call Black Ops Zombies an extraction shooter because the thing with the zombies modes in Call of Duty is that you're just looking to go for how many like waves. It's a wave mode. It's a horde mode that wouldn't be out of place in like Space Marine, for example. An extraction shooter is more of like it's like it's a battle royale is what it is essentially. You drop into an area to collect loot and all that and kill, you know, players. A lot of extraction shooters are PvP. Some of them try to be PvEvP, which is what Hunt Showdown is. Hunt Showdown is a PvEvP extraction shooter / battle royale. A great example of it would be Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov is like the go-to extraction shooter that most people play. It's still a top streamed game on Twitch. That, and I think, what was it called? There's a mode that Call of Duty put out for Modern Warfare 2 that's basically that. Can't remember. I think it was like DMZ mode. I think is what it was. I'm not sure. Yeah, DMZ. But that's an extraction shooter. Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies. If you want to talk new zombies, then yes, because I do remember playing I do remember playing zombies on Cold War, and that allowed you to extract at a certain wave. I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was wave 10 or something like that. But I do remember that. But if we're talking like early Black Ops, I'm not entirely sure, because I don't recall ever being given the option to extract in the older COD games. But anyway, kind of getting sidetracked here. Point is, Bungie done fucked up, and now they're paying the price for it, because obviously, as I said at the top of the story, marketing for Marathon has halted, and it's likely going to be delayed. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, I'm also just gonna be completely honest here. The art style, the sort of like neon green and pink art style that Marathon was going for, I wasn't particularly fond of. And I was looking at gameplay of it too. The gameplay, it is straight up just one-to-one Destiny 2 gameplay. Like really basically no innovation on that end. But you know, I will admit, because Marathon, when I was looking at it and looking at what you could do on top of, like, because other extractions is just like you go in, kill bad guys, get loot, get out. Whereas in Marathon was kind of reminding me a lot of the Cycle back in that game's early days, where you would drop in, you would get contracts to complete for the various factions that are in the Marathon universe, and you would do these contracts on top of the normal stuff that you do in a looter shooter. And that's what I like. That's the kind of innovation that I do like, and the stuff that I actually do like about some extraction shooters. And again, I'll say it to the fucking day I die. The Cycle embrace, because the Cycle wasn't an extraction shooter originally. It was literally just, it was just a battle royale, like a standard battle royale. You dropped in with no loot, with no pre-done loot. You would drop in, get your loot, and then start you doing your contracts and all that. And then when they fully did their 1.0 release is when they embraced the extraction shooter shit. So then you had to use your in-game currency to buy equipment and all that. And if you lost your equipment, then it's gone. You had to go get more. And I thought that's what killed that game, to me personally. And with Marathon, it didn't really seem like it was gonna be like, it kind of seemed like more battle royale-y, where you got your loot in the match and it wasn't something that you could necessarily take out with you. I never got to play the alpha. I didn't get to play any of the beta tests for Marathon, even though I did request access a couple times. So I don't know. I really don't know, and I haven't really bothered to look at more extensive gameplay of Marathon. But yeah, I don't know. Bungie messed up. And hopefully they take the time with the very obvious delay that is currently underway. I think it already got announced. I actually don't know. But hopefully they take this time to learn and try and, revamp some things. Obviously redo textures, make sure they're done in-house, not from a former dev. And who knows, maybe something good could come out of Marathon. I don't know. That whole development doesn't look great. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for Marathon, and it's not looking good for Bungie. Because, D2 player count is at a low. People just aren't having faith in what Bungie's doing anymore. And I hate to see it personally. But if game devs were capable of learning, we wouldn't have been getting constant Last of Us releases and would have had a new Jack by now, possibly. Without trying to go too much into the stupid controversy surrounding it, it's part of the reason why I'm actually quite excited for Intergalactic. I still think it's a really dumb name, Intergalactic: The Phantom Prophet. I really fucking hate that name, but it's part of the reason why I'm actually pretty excited for that, because it's finally something new from Naughty Dog. And it looks pretty interesting. And people want to complain about dumb shit. So yeah. But besides the point. Yeah, I would have liked the new Jack. I know there was the concept art of the canceled Jack 4 that got leaked years ago. It does make me really sad that that never came to fruition. But, yeah. Okay, there's one news story that I want to talk about. I want to say I had another one. I literally can't remember what it was. Hopefully it comes back to me. Oh, I found it. But the first one we're going to talk about, so Mountain Blade fans, if you're a fan of Mountain Blade, I have some disappointing news. Tail Worlds announced, today, yeah, it was today, They announced today that they are delaying the War Sales expansion. So it's no longer coming out in, I think the original release date was in June. They're pushing it back to early fall this year. That's the release window. Yeah, and keep in mind, I think they gave a date the last time. They don't have a date for this new one. So, you know, obviously opening up the possibility of there being another delay when we get closer to the new release window. They just simply want to make it more polished, which, you know, I'm always for. Not only that, but I think it also gives mod developers time to, like, prepare. Because I know the big concern with War Sales and the amount of changes it's going to bring is the amount of fuckery that it could cause to a lot of mod developers out there, because there's a couple of them that are you know, getting ready to release, and there are ones that are like really late in development. So like you have I talked about it a couple days ago, but Shokuho, which is the Feudal Japan mod coming out next month. You have the Lord of the Rings mod. I still can't remember what the hell it was called. Well, there's a popular Lord of the Rings mod that's coming out for Bannerlord relatively soon-ish. And then obviously, you know, you have the Old Realms, which is technically completed, but they're doing updates to it. So, yeah. But it's a little disappointing, but I get, you know, make sure your game or expansion or whatever is, you know, make sure it is as close to 100% as you could possibly get it. Because, let's face it, no game is fully 100% when it comes to, like, when it launches. There's always going to be day one, like, bug fixes and all that stuff. You just never know what happens and all that. So it's best to make sure the game is functioning to as close to 100% as it could possibly be, rather than release it and it turns out to be a broken mess. So yeah, there's that. The next story I want to talk about. So I don't really know a whole lot about the developers that were making this game, but Electronic Arts announced that they have canceled the upcoming Black Panther game, which, yeah, no, I kind of forgot this was the thing. There was a Black Panther game that was announced. I don't even know when, but it was being developed by Cliffhanger Games. I don't know what their resume is, because I literally can't seem to find any, like, speck of information on them. Yeah, unless they do have, like, a thing that I could find. Oh, Cliffhanger Productions. I think that's something I could use. Okay, so this isn't really helping me out a whole lot. The only thing is I'm seeing are Jagged Alliance, Rage, and Shadowrun Chronicles. I don't know. I've not played those games. Unmasked Stream. Oh. That's a first. I don't think I've ever seen anyone. Because usually the unmasked stream is for the unmasked stuff is for not wearing this mask. But I will respect the request. But thank you, Astaroth the Fallen. I mainly, just to give everyone a heads up, I do mainly use the face mask 90% of the time now, because it hides the poor lip tracking and the poor lip what's the word I'm looking for? Rigging that my model has. But nonetheless, I shall respect. I always respect the redeems. But yeah, no, I've not played either Jagged Alliance or Shadowrun. And I guess they're also responsible for Sly Cooper Thieves in Time. I'm not sure. I, again, literally know nothing about them. So, I don't know. But it sucks because I don't know if I even said this yet, but EA, as a result, has also shut down Cliffhanger games after canceling this Black Panther game. I don't know if there was any news as to what it was going to be. I would assume that it would have been like an action adventure game, which that would have. I will admit that would have gone so hard. An action adventure Black Panther game, I would buy that. Especially if you make it like a hack and slash almost. Given the type of shit you could probably do as Black Panther. Oh. If Black Panther and Marvel Rivals is anything to go by, then again, that'd be amazing. That would have been amazing, but alas. So that's like. So we have like 3. So there's like 2 upcoming Marvel games that have only been announced, but have not really been shown off so far. And that is because I know there's a Wolverine game in the works. There's like an M-rated Wolverine game. And I think the only other Marvel game I can think of is Blade. I think Blade is the only other Marvel game I can think of at the moment. Which, oh my god, Blade. If they stay true to the very adult and violent nature of Blade, and they make it like a hack and slash shooter type game, I would pay a lot for that. And hey, who knows? I believe Summer Games Fest is next Friday. I want to say, which by the way, I will be doing a live reaction to Summer Game Fest this year. So yeah. Well, let me check here. When does Summer Games Fest start? Dates. June 6th is what I'm wait a minute. You know what? No, how about you don't give me the AI overview answer? Okay, yeah, Friday, June 6th. So that is literally next Friday. So yeah, I'll be doing that. Can't wait to see what is all announced for that. I think I did a live reaction last year. I want to say maybe. Anyway. That's about all the news I got. It's unfortunate. Hate to see. I do hate to see a studio get shut down. Because all that means is that, you got people out of a job. Hopefully they can find a home for them. If not, I hope those developers are able to find work elsewhere. Preferably quickly, because obviously, in this world, world we live in, it's difficult to just go a month without making any money. I went 2 weeks from my medical leave, and I only got paid for like the days before my leave. And granted, I did get paid for my leave, and that's not appearing until my next check. So yeah. But I know the struggle. I know the struggle of even going a little bit without making any money. It sucks. It sucks a lot. So I hope nothing but the best for the devs of Cliffhanger. And obligatory fuck you, EA. So yeah.